Good morning, students. This is our second part of chapter agriculture for class 10th. In the first part, we have completed as a notes the important definition and terms, their explanation, and then you have done the homework also, which was based on the important terms explanation. Now we are starting in the second video of agriculture chapter. We are starting the explanation of the chapter. First of all, when we say that agriculture, so India is an agriculture based land, we know that India's economy about 70% depend on the agriculture products. So you can see in introduction of the chapter, India is an agriculturally important country. Two-thirds of its population. How much? Two-thirds of its population engaged in agricultural activities. Agriculture is a primary activity. Dash is a primary activity. What is a primary activity? Agriculture, which produces most of the food that we consume. Besides food grains, it also produces raw materials. Another important thing, raw material for the various industry. So agriculture is a primary activity, and it is also provide the raw material for the various products, final or finished goods, like the secondary and tertiary sector. Now the next explanation of the chapter, that now we are talking about the types of farming. Agriculture is an age old economic activity in our country. Over these years, cultivation methods have changed significantly depending upon the characteristic of the physical environment. Yes, change is a need of time, and this change also influence our agriculture field, and that how it has influenced the technology. Now the farmers are using the new technological inputs or the methods to produce more and more crop. So technologically, know-how and socio cultural practices, farming varies from subsistence to commercial type. That this is the reason that why we are studying the types of farming, that on the basis of the need of time, the economy, you can say technological development, the farming is different. Variety, there are a variety of farmings from subsistence to the commercial type farming. At present, in different parts of India, the following farming system are practiced. Now in India, these are the types of farming that the different state of India they are practicing. The first among them, primitive subsistence farming. We have discussed in the key terms also that what is all about primitive subsistence farming. This type of farming is still practiced in few pockets of India. Few pockets of India, it means very few areas of India. Primitive subsistence farming is applied. Primitive subsistence agriculture is practiced on small patches of land with the help of primitive tools like hoe, dao, and digging sticks, and family community labor that we have discussed in the important term. This type of farming depends upon monsoon. The new thing you are studying here, that in the primitive system or the type of farming, the farmer depends for the you can say irrigation on monsoon. It means rain. They are not having developed means of water irrigation. That's why they depend on the monsoon for the irrigation. Natural fertility of the soil and suitability of the other environmental condition to the crops grown, and they totally depend on the nature for the soil fertility. The farmer depend on the naturally on the types of soil, as they are not having any you can say any additional you can say manure or the other types of fertilizers. That's why in primitive subsistence farming, the farmer depends on the monsoon for irrigation, and they also depend on the fertility of the soil. Now we have discussed it. It is a slash and burn agriculture. Primitive subsistence farming is a slash and burn agriculture. Farmers clear a patch of land and produce cereals and other food crops to sustain their family. What they produce? The cereals, and the cereals, whatever we eat in the form of food, are known as cereal, and food crops to sustain their family. Basically, under the primitive subsistence farming, the farmers which involved in such type of farming, they usually having the target to satisfy the 3 times meal to their family. When the soil fertility decreases, the farmers shift and clear a fresh patch of land for cultivation. And when after one time when they produce the crops in a small patch of land, then automatically uh, after some time the soil fertility goes down, then they again find out the another piece of land to produce the crops. This type of shifting allows nature to replenish the fertility of the soil, and it is also a natural process that when they left the certain piece of land after the harvesting of crops, automatically within certain period of time when the same land left, then it produces its fertility. It is a beauty, or you can say power of nature, that somehow nature itself gives us so much things, and after a certain interval the same piece of land become fertile. Now through natural process it becomes fertile once again. Land productivity in this type of agriculture is low. Important, this is the drawback of the land pattern under primitive subsistence farming, that land productivity in this type of agriculture is low. Definitely, because they are not using any seeds or any you can say any higher productivity seeds they are not using. They are not having any type of manure or the fertilizer. That's why the production of this agriculture is low, as the farmer does not use fertilizer or other modern inputs. It is known by different names in different parts of the country. It is important that primitive subsistence farming known by the different names in the different parts of the country. Important, zooming. Now what is zooming? The slash and burn agriculture is known as milpa in Mexico. The slash and burn agriculture, and we know the primitive subsistence farming is known as slash and burn agriculture, and this same primitive subsistence farming or slash and burn agriculture is known as milpa in Mexico, and Central America, Cunoco in Venezuela, Roca and in Brazil, Masol in Central Africa, Landang and in Indonesia, and Ray in Vietnam. In India, this primitive form of cultivation is called Bewar or Dhaiya in Madhya Pradesh, Podu or Penda in Andhra Pradesh, Pama Dabi or Koman or Bringa in Odisha, Kumari in Western Ghats, Valor or Welter in southeastern Rajasthan, Khil in the Himalayan belt, Kurwa in Jharkhand, and Jhuming in the northeastern region. So now what thing you have learnt here? It is very important. If you will not listen the video properly and not understand, then whatever I am giving you homework in the form of middle of the video, you cannot be able to write the correct answer, as you will not find the answer in any website, or you cannot search them in any website, because we are forming these questions on the basis of the video. That's why it is necessary that you have to listen and understand. That you can see that the same primitive subsistence farming, which is known as a slash and burn farming, is known with the different names in the different part of the world as well as different state of India. So the slash and burn or primitive subsistence farming is known as jhuming farming or jhuming in the northeastern region of India. This is the thing that you can only having when you read the book. Now next, second type of farming is intensive subsistence farming. Now what is intensive subsistence farming? This type of farming is practiced in areas of high population pressure on land. So you know, when we say the high population pressure on land, then UP, we are having so much of population. It is labor intensive farming where high doses of biochemical inputs and irrigation are used for obtaining higher production. So one thing you come to know, that intensive subsistence farming, we are having the objective for higher production, and if we are having the aim to produce more and more crops, it means how it will be when we use biochemical inputs, proper irrigation methods with the modern inputs and the machine or tools. So it is that it is basically different from the primitive subsistence farming, and they under intensive subsistence farming, the farmers don't depend on monsoon. They develop their own irrigation, you can say, ways to irrigate their fields, and they also use biochemical fertilizers. Now, that through the right of inheritance, now through the right of inheritance leading to the division of land among successive generation has rendered land holding size uneconomical. The farmers continue to take maximum output from the limited land in the absence of alternative source of livelihood. Thus, there is enormous pressure on the agriculture land. Now, when that these type of farming, where the intensive subsistence farming I am talking about, the farmers are having objective to produce more and more crop, even they are having the small piece of land. So that's why they use so much of fertilizer, chemicals, pesticides and manure. So in this way there is so much pressure they develop on the agriculture land, and when they develop so much of irrigation resources to plant to irrigate their fields, then anyhow the soil fertility decreases as they are crossing their limits. They are the under the subsistence intensive subsistence farming, the farmers want to produce more and more crop. That's why there is unlimited pressure, there is unlimited pressure on the agricultural land, which is a drawback, and it nowadays it becomes a challenge that in the maximum states of India we are losing the soil fertility because of the overuse of fertilizer, pesticides and chemicals. Now the third type of farming, first is primitive subsistence farming, second intensive subsistence farming, and now the third one is commercial farming. The main characteristic of this type of farming is the use of higher doses of modern inputs. What are higher doses of modern inputs? Example, high yielding variety seeds. The question can be asked that identify and select any one option regarding the statement that in which type of farming the high yielding variety of seeds are used. Your options can be intensive subsistence farming, primitive subsistence farming or commercial farming. So when you study the book, then 1000 type of question can be framed. Now that only in commercial farming we use the HYV seeds, chemical fertilizer we use so much, insecticides, pesticides in order to obtain higher productivity. The degree of commercialization of agriculture varies from one region to another. For example, rice is a commercial crop in Haryana and Punjab, but in Odisha it is a subsistence crop. Now it is also the another thing that you have to understood. It seems it is very easy chapter. It is agriculture. No, just to knowing about that India is agriculture based land and our 70% economy depend on agriculture product, and you know that what are the main cereal crops, wheat and rice, it is not enough. So don't take the syllabus or the thing so easy. So because in the middle of the chapter the question can be framed which you cannot answer, and in board examination 20 marks question will be your objective. They can be match up, they can be fill up, they can be true false, they can be anything, one word substitution, very short answer, they can be anything. And we are from the starting of our syllabus we are practicing them with the help of different section of the SST. So keep this thing in your mind that what has asked that the commercial farming where we use the higher dose of HYV seeds, pesticide, chemicals to obtain maximum productivity, and the pattern of commercial farming is different for one region to another, and their crops is also different. As you can see that rice is a commercial crop in Haryana and Punjab. So you can understand that in Haryana and Punjab both states farmer or landlord having the priority to produce more and more rice because for them it is a commercial crop. So how the same thing can be asked in a different manner. Next, and in Odisha the same rice is a subsistence crop. So it can be asked that what is the difference between subsistence crop or commercial crop. And if you will not study that, this through this example you can understand the difference also. So how the same crop for Haryana and Punjab is a commercial crop, and in Odisha the rice is a subsistence crop. So when it is a subsistence crop, it means they are producing the rice in Odisha, but they are not using higher doses of the pesticide and chemical to produce unlimited grains, means rice. So you have to understood and you try to understand. Now the another type of farming, we have studied the three types of primitive subsistence farming, intensive subsistence farming, and the commercial farming. Now we are continuing the another heading, the cropping pattern. That what is the cropping pattern in our country, in the various states of India, that we have studied the physical diversity, plurality of culture in India. We know that India is a diverse country on the basis, it is diverse in the way physically, the you can say the flora and fauna, and the higher altitude area and the low altitude area, how the our India physical feature in India, you have understood it, that what is all about I am talking. And the how culturally we are different from each other. So how physical feature of India is diverged, plain area, mountainous area, and how culturally we are plural in our nature. These are also reflected in agriculture practices. Why I am discussing the plurality of culture, that our culture is also reflecting the agriculture practices in India. Now as we have studied it in agriculture, in the different types of agriculture, when we studied the soil pattern, and then in agriculture practices and cropping patterns in the country, various types of food and fiber crops. Now another thing, fiber crops. What do you mean by fiber crops? That in you can say various types of food and fiber crops, vegetables and fruits. The production of vegetable and fruits is known as horticulture. Species, spices and condiments etc. constitute some of the important crops grown in the country. India has a 3 cropping season. So India produced fiber crops, main staple crops like wheat and rice, maize, millets, and vegetable, fruits, spices and condiments. So many things is grown in different parts of India, and India has mainly 3 cropping season. Okay, what we have had cropping. India is having mainly 3 cropping season. We have discussed it in the important terms. First is Rabi, second is Kharif, and third is Zaid. So the 3 cropping season of India are Rabi, Kharif and Zaid. Now what do you mean by Rabi season? Rabi crops are sown in winter from October to December. During the you can say winter period, the crops which are grown in Indian different states known as Rabi crops up and harvested. And when they harvested, Rabi crops harvested in summer. Obviously 6 months time every crop takes usually to ripen. So the Rabi crops harvested in summer from April to June. This is the cropping pattern of Rabi crop. That Rabi crops produces take time to grow up from October to December, and they harvested the same crop harvested during the summer, especially April to June. Some of the important Rabi crops are now another important. What are Rabi crops? Wheat, barley, peas, gram and mustard. Mustard, you know mustard seed, by which we get the mustard oil. We use in our we use mustard oil as a edible oil in our daily life. So wheat, barley, peas, gram and mustard are the Rabi crops, and these crops are sown from October to December and harvested from April to June. Though these crops are grown in a large parts of India, states from the north and the western parts such as Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh are important for production of wheat and other rabi crops. Now these states are important to produce the rabi crops and most important for producing wheat as a rabi crops. What are these states? Punjab, Haryana, Himachal, your own Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir and Haryana. So these are the states which are important to produce, to grow the rabi crops, especially wheat. Now availability of now the kharif crops. Next we are talking about kharif crops. First we have discussed the what are rabi crops, what are their cropping season, when they get harvested and which are the state where they are sown. Now the second is kharif crops. Kharif crops are grown with the onset of monsoon in different parts of the country, and these are harvested in September to October. Important crops grown during this season are paddy, maize, jowar, bajra, arhar, moong, urad, cotton, jute, groundnut and soybean. So these are the example of kharif crops. And the cropping season, that onset of monsoon, the different parts of India, kharif crops are grown and they are harvested during the September to October. The main crops under kharif is what are paddy, maize, jowar, bajra, moong, urad, cotton, jute, groundnut, soybean. These are the example of kharif crops. Okay. Now some of the most important rice growing region are Assam, West Bengal, and the important rice growing states are Assam, West Bengal, coastal region of Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Maharashtra. Particularly the Konkan coast along with the Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, they produces the rice. Recently, paddy has also become an important crop of Punjab and Haryana. In states like Assam, West Bengal and Odisha, 3 crops of paddy are grown in a year. These are Os, Aman, Boro. Now, what do you understand by Os, Aman, Boro? That these are the variety of paddy crops. And these variety of paddy crops are grown in where? West Bengal and Odisha. Mention any 2 states of India where variety of paddy crops are grown. So your answer will be West Bengal and Odisha are the states where variety of paddy, mainly 3 types of variety of paddy crops are grown in a year, within a year. And the variety of paddy crops which are grown in Bengal, West Bengal and Odisha are Os, Aman and Boro. So if you will not listen, if you will not study the books at home, only doing NCERT question is never be enough. First thing is clear. Everything is explained in the video. So you supposed to do the things in a same guided manner and you have to follow the instruction. Only then you can understand the chapter throughout your life. Otherwise you will just mug up the thing and you will do your just completing a homework is not all about the study. Remember this. Now we are talking about yes, this is the now the major crops. What are the major crops of India? Now a variety of food and non-food crops are grown in different parts of the country depending upon the variation in soil, climate. These are the physical features which are required to produce crops: soil, climate and cultivation practices. That in a country like India, in the different states, different practices is used by the farmers and it the production of the, you can say, agriculture in output depend on soil, climate and cultivation practices. Major crops in India are rice, wheat, millets, pulses, tea, coffee, sugarcane, oilseed, cotton and jute. In India, in the different parts of the India, the major crops which play a significant role economically and our day-to-day life are involved rice, wheat. These are the main staple food crop of India. Rice, wheat, millet, pulses. Then beverage crops, tea, coffee. Then sugarcane, oil seed, cotton and jute are the main crops of India. Now we will categorize them, we will study them one by one. Rice. It is a staple food of majority of the people in India. Our country is the second largest important. Our country is the second largest producer of rice after China. So China is not only, you can say, having the first rank in the population, but they are also very fast in to boost up their economy, that they are having the first rank in the world to produce rice, and India is having second. It is a kharif crop. Rice is a kharif crop which requires high temperature. So these are the physical requirements for the production of rice. Rice is a kharif crop and it requires a high temperature above 25 degree centigrade. That below 25 degree centigrade you cannot having the good production of rice. And high humidity with annual rainfall about 100 centimeter. So in a year the annual rainfall for the production of rice is required 100 above than 100 centimeter. In the areas of less rainfall it grows with the help of irrigation, and where the states are having the less rainfall, less than 100 centimeter, then they require definitely the proper means of irrigation to produce the rice. Rice is grown in the plains of north. Now these are the area. Rice is grown in the plains of north and northeastern India. Now what states come under north and northeastern India? Coastal areas and the deltaic region. Deltaic region, development of dense network of canal irrigation and tube wells have made it possible to grow rice in areas of less rainfall such as Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh and parts of Rajasthan. These are the area where the rainfall, annual rainfall is less than 100 centimeter, but still with the help of proper irrigation ways, Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh and some parts of the Rajasthan also giving their you can say contribution in the production of rice in Indian economy, although they are having the annual rainfall less than 100 centimeter, but still with the help of proper irrigation method they are giving their contribution to produce a good amount of rice. And rice is a kharif crop. Now wheat. This is the second most important cereal crop. Yes, we know that wheat is the second important after rice staple food of India. It is the main food crop in north and northwestern part of the country. Yes, the people belong to the north and northeastern part. They to used every day in their meal. One time they definitely use wheat as a staple food. This rabi crop requires a cool growing season. So how the physical feature is different in the production of rice and wheat? While rice requires high temperature, in a year more rainfall than 100 centimeter, and in the case of wheat it requires cool growing season and a bright sunshine at the time of ripening. But at the same time when they ripe, the crops of wheat ripe, they requires bright sunshine. It requires 50 to 75 centimeter annual rainfall evenly distributed over the growing season. There are two important wheat growing zones in the country: the Ganga Satluj plains in the northwest and black soil region of the Deccan. So these are the zone which are having the good production of wheat in India. The major wheat producing states are Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan and parts of Madhya Pradesh. So Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and Rajasthan and some parts of Madhya Pradesh are having a good production of wheat. They are producing the wheat in a proper amount, and the same Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh are producing wheat also after managing the proper you can say irrigation method. Now the second, millets. Now under millets, this is the third important food crops of India. So under millets, what crops involved in millets? Jowar, bajra, ragi are the important millet crops grown in India. Now we will continue this in the another video. Till then, read the chapter thoroughly, see the listen and observe the video properly, and do the homework properly in a good handwriting. God bless you. Thank you.